Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with another Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figure review, and today I have the Star Wars The Black Series Legends Jaina Solo figure. So this is part of Wave 14 of 2017, I do believe. It's the Snoke wave. There's a bunch of repacks from the previous two waves, and then the new figures of this wave is Rose, Snoke, and then Jaina Solo. She is the winner of the 2016 Fans Choice Poll. People voted for what figure character they wanted made in a Black Series 6-inch figure, and Jaina won. I remember back then when we first found out who won, wasn't hugely excited. I'm not super familiar with Jaina. Wasn't overly excited. There was just other choices I would rather, because there's like Star Killer and Darth Talon. I voted Darth Talon, if you're wondering. And I could be holding Darth Talon or Star Killer in the 6-inch Black Series right now. So that kind of sucks. But after seeing the photos of her and watching some reviews, she looks really, really good, even if I'm not too familiar with the character. So I wanted to pick this figure up. So let's take a quick look at the packaging here. And you've got the standard Black Series packaging. The logo there, you got the figure clearly displayed with the red backdrop, which looks really good for this figure because she's wearing all black pretty much. Pretty cool image of Jaina there. There's no actress that's portrayed the character, so the drawing's pretty good. Legend of Jaina Solo. She's number 56. And rotating around the back, you get a bigger image of the same image. And you get the read up there. It says, daughter of Leia Organa and Han Solo, Jaina Solo is a Jedi student of Luke Skywalker. Like her father, she is also a crack pilot and a skilled mechanic. Like her mother, she is a born leader. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. So I'm going to crack the packaging open and we'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, now I have Jaina Solo out of the packaging, and this figure is really impressive. It does a lot of things right, I'm not going to lie. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the character. She is a Jedi. I believe, of course, she got the X-Wing gear on, so she flies an X-Wing. I believe she's the leader of Rogue Squadron in her time period. Don't quote me on that, not 100% sure. I didn't really bother to do my homework before the review, so I apologize for that. And yeah, she fought her brother, Darth Caedus, killed him. I would say spoiler alert, but the book's been out for ages, so yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's take a look at her. And sculpt and paint is pretty good for the most part. The head sculpt is pretty cool. There was no actress to base the sculpt on, and I find when Hasbro doesn't have to base human heads on actresses or actors, they do a lot better job, and this head sculpt's pretty good. The eyes are a little weird at some angles, I will admit. For the most part, it's pretty well done. I kind of like the kind of smirk she's got going on. I think that's really cool. The hair is really nice. I maybe would have liked a little more paint within the hair to bring out the detail, the sculpt detail a little more, but it looks pretty good. She's got a yellow hairband there for the ponytail. And the hair is a pretty pliable plastic, which is good. It still hinders movement in the neck, but not as bad as it could have. Yeah, it looks really good. I love I love the sort of little smile thing. It looks really good. The eyes are painted well. I mean, they're painted sharply. The eyebrows are sculpted and painted, which is good as well. So it looks really good. And looking at the rest of the figure, she's wearing a sort of black flight suit with X-Wing gear. The X-Wing gear can be removed, and I'll show that later. But you've got like the X-Wing vest here, which is in black rather than the traditional white. You got some of this like gunmetal coloring going on for the straps and whatnot. And you've got the life support box, which looks pretty good. You got some whites, blacks, and blues going on. She's got this yellow outline, yellowish orange outline all throughout the bodysuit, which is pretty cool. And you got the tubes there, the straps here would go, which go around her legs, which looks really good. You've got the belt here, which is in a gunmetalish color. The pouches are nice. You got the painted buckles for it, which is cool. And it looks pretty good. You got a hook for her lightsaber, and it is functional. Her lightsaber can be stored there. You get the holster, which can store her blaster pistol. Again, we'll get into that later, but it stores it well. You can flip it around, it's not going to come out, so that's good. The sculpt of the jumpsuit or whatever looks really good. You got the sculpt to simulate clothing. It looks good. And she has these boots that look really nice. They're in like this gunmetal shiny color, which is pretty cool actually. I didn't really notice that when I originally was seeing pictures of the figure, so that's cool. The gloves are in the same sort of color. That's pretty cool. The right hand is sculpted with a trigger finger to hold the blaster. And yeah, overall, it's a really good looking figure. I have no real outstanding issues with it. I'm going to quickly take off the flight gear and give you a better look at the figure without the flight gear on. Alright, here she is without the flight gear on. And it's, again, really cool. If you don't want her looking like an X-Wing pilot, you can just have her looking like, I don't know, having like some sort of Special Forces outfit on or something. Some covert Jedi outfit or something, which is really cool. You get that option. It gives you a lot of different options for displaying the figure. If you don't want her looking like a X-Wing pilot, you can get an alternative where she doesn't look so much like a pilot, which is really, really cool. And there's not too much else to show aside from maybe the orange trim on the jumpsuit there, but it looks really, really good. I like that look a lot. In terms of articulation, she has a ball joint in the head as well as a hinge. She's not going to be able to look up much because of the hair. You do get more movement than you'd expect, but it's still not perfect. Ball hinges in the shoulders are really good. They move past the 90 degrees, which is awesome. The ball hinges at the elbows, which I'll show, is a single hinge, but moves much farther past 90 degrees, or decently past 90 degrees at least, which is awesome. I love that a lot. If you're going to do single hinge elbows, this is definitely the way to do them. And Hasbro has been doing that lately, so I like that a lot. One of the really interesting parts of the articulation, she actually has two torso joints. She has a ball joint around the chest area, which moves very well. It moves good back, good forward, and good pivot, as well as rotation. And she also has a Marvel Legends style ab crunch, which is also really, really cool. It doesn't ratchet or anything, but it's more torso articulation than I was ever expecting. Ball hinges at the hips, which move pretty well out. That's pretty good. Move back a little and move forward good. Swivel at the thigh, a double hinge at the knee, and a hinge at the ankle with rocker joints, which move all really well. The ankle joints were a little tight and maybe a little skeptical about moving them, but once you get them going, they're not too bad. And then I guess now moving on to the last part, accessories. She comes with quite a few accessories. And I guess the first one you can consider is the flight gear. I guess I consider that an accessory. You can remove it and whatnot. So you get that, which is awesome. Like I said, it's awesome. You can remove that. Gives you different options for display. Like I said, she has her blaster pistol. If I can get it out of the holster here. And the pistol is pretty cool. She can hold it well in her right hand, not so much the left because it doesn't have a trigger figure. But the right, she holds it really well. And it's a pretty cool pistol. It's pretty much like Han Solo's pistol, just without the scope on it. It's pretty cool. It's sculpted in sort of gunmetal color, but there's also black paint apps around the barrel, around the forward part here, and on the grip. So that's pretty cool. Sculpt's good, paint's good, and great accessory. Goes in the holster well, and she can hold it pretty well as well. Put that back in there. She comes with the helmet, the X-Wing helmet, which is really cool. It's made of a somewhat pliable material, so it can go on the head easily, but it's not super gummy, which is good. I really like the look of the black pilot helmet. You've got the visor here, the translucent yellow visor. Got the white paint apps that are all scuffed up and whatnot. You got a bit of a gray wash over it to give it this sort of scuffed up look. All these different emblems. You got the Rebel Alliance emblem. It's all dirty and everything. It looks really, really good. And while it's going to look a little weird without the flight gear on, I will throw the helmet on it real quick. And there's the helmet. It looks really good on her as well. I don't have too much issues. I'm just noticing actually a little thing of paint there. It's just going to come off though. Yeah. Looks pretty good. I like that a lot. And it goes on and off really easily. but yeah, it won't just fall off the figure either, which is great. And then lastly, she comes with her lightsaber. This is the second figure we've seen with a purple lightsaber. The first one actually being last year's Fan's Choice figure. And yeah, it's really cool. The purple is a deep magenta kind of looking color, which is really cool. A pinkish purple, if you will. And the hilt's really nice. It's a brand new sculpt. You've got some really nice paint apps. It's mainly sculpted in a gunmetal. You got some black paint apps, a little bronzish paint app there. And you got this little purple line painted on there in the middle as well, which is really, really cool. Looks good, and she can hold it really well as well, which is awesome. So overall, I think this figure is pretty much a home run. I'm much more impressed with it than I thought I was going to be. Articulation's surprisingly really good. Sculpt and paint's pretty good. There's no major quality control issues or anything like that. I think it looks really good. And she comes packed with a pretty good amount of accessories. I have no outstanding issues with this figure. I'll do a really quick size comparison, kind of comparing her with some other figures. So first off, here she is with her father on Solo, which is from the Force Awakens one, which would work best with this figure. And yeah, I think the sculpt or the size there is pretty good. She should probably be a little shorter, a little smaller than him. That looks good. Here she is with a Stormtrooper. Again, I think the size difference is pretty well done here. And then lastly, I'll move Han here. Here she is with last year's Fan's Choice Bowl, Darth Revan. Again, I think the scaling is good. If I was to say which one's my favorite, it would still have to be Darth Revan. Jaina does some things much better than Revan does, but I'm obviously biased because I'm much more of a Sith person, and I like Revan as a character a lot more than Jaina, a lot more familiar with him. But he's also a really, really well done figure. I like him more. But I will say for Jaina, she fits into the collection a lot better because unlike Darth Revan, who has no one really to display with, he's kind of a standalone piece, which is good in his own right, but for anyone who's buying more of the figures, you don't really know where to put them. Jaina can be displayed with Stormtroopers. She can be displayed with I think she goes well with the Force Awakens Han Solo. I've seen some pictures with her and Boba Fett because they interact. I think Boba Fett trains her in Mandalorian fighting in the books, so that's also really cool. She's a lot more usable if you're doing toy photography or displaying or whatever, so that's another plus to the figure. Overall, I think this is a really, really good one. I think this is one of the best ones Hasbro has put out in a while, not going to lie to you. I was not expecting to say that about this figure, but it's actually really, really good. And I definitely recommend picking it up if you can find it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.